Hey gang, today we're going to be doing some quad smashing with a barbell. This is going to be a big spicy one. It's going to be a good one. What it's going to basically look like, you take a barbell, put it perpendicular to your quad, and you can either choose the sleeve or the knurling part to smash it, and you'll do the three faces of your quad, the anterior, lateral, and medial side. So what you'll do is you'll contract, relax, and relax. You'll spend 2 minutes sweeping down on each side of the face, on each face of the quad. So this is what the anterior side or the front of your quad is going to look like. The lateral side, you'll kind of turn over, make sure you have your ankle underneath your knee to protect your knee from hyperextension. Contract, relax, and then you'll turn over, open it up to the medial inner thigh, and contract and relax. I like to lay down when I do this one to really make sure that I'm relaxing into it, especially as it gets spicy. So for demo purposes, I'm going to show it at the spicy setting, on the knurling. So in terms of points of performance, we really want to make sure that this barbell is perpendicular to your body, because that's perpendicular to the fibers of the muscle. That's how you're going to smash the best of it. Since it's just a smash, so you can't really floss around a whole lot, but this is it's going to get deep into those knots. You can choose the sleeve or the bar. If you choose the sleeve, this is the less spicy option. It's got a broader surface. It doesn't dig as deep into those knots. But the also benefit of going super spicy is you can add extra spice by pressing down on that sleeve, getting leverage, turning this whole big barbell into a big lever. In terms of how you're going to perform the smash, you really want to make sure you contract and relax, especially when people hit this after workout. They have a very middle of the road option or approach where they're a little bit tight and they never really relax. They're never really release those knots. So if you look at me while I do this, I contract and relax. I contract and relax. And so you see that barbell literally moves up as I contract, and it melts into my quad as I relax. So that's really important. It's not just about how tight you get, but it's how much you can relax and let that barbell get into those knots and work some magic in there. You want to make sure that you are sweeping from your hip to your knee, or from your knee to your hip. Since you'll be spending 2 minutes on each face, that gives you a really good, easy timeline. So you want to be at the 1 minute mark, you're halfway down that quad. And then you keep sweeping. I like to go from the hip to the knee because it's generally not too spicy at the hip, but as it gets towards the end of those 2 minutes, and you're working your way towards the teardrop, especially on the medial side, you might need to buckle up. So it's nice to have the escalating spice rather than the starting really bad and then getting towards that hip. I also, especially when you're doing this stuff, especially as you turn laterally and medially, you want to make sure that you have that ankle underneath that knee to protect you from really gnarly hyperextension, because especially you turn, your hip gets raised, and then you're kind of turning the whole femur into a lever against some ligaments, and that's gross. You're not going to do that. So in terms of execution, we're going to spend 2 minutes on this anterior front face. We're going to spend 2 minutes on the lateral face, 2 minutes on the medial face of that quad. There's the reason why it's called quad is because it's got 4 muscle groups in it. There's a whole lot of stuff going on in there. So we want to make sure we smash around all of it, because especially that inner thigh and the lateral thigh doesn't get a whole lot of love. So in terms of the contract and relax, you want to use your breath. I use my breath cycle. I do an inhale, tighten up, short, quick inhale, and then a slow, drawn out exhale. And during that exhale, I make sure I relax my whole body, my face especially, and the quad. And as I relax, that barbell can really dig into that knot. And then as I inhale, I tighten up. And then on the exhale, it gets even deeper. And you really want to make sure that you have a good posture while you do this. You're not super rounded. You can't get a really good breath in this way. You want to make sure you don't scrunch up that face fighting it. You want to really relax. If you can smile while you do this mobility, you're really doing a whole lot of good work for yourself. It's about the relaxation, digging into the knots and getting them out. So a lot of what's happening is you're digging into those knots, and there's a lot of lymphatic blockages. And when you pop a zip, there's that clear stuff that comes out after the blood. That's the lymph, that's the waste, and the waste products from cells and that stuff. If it doesn't come back, it uses muscular contraction to get back to the heart, and this is what we're trying to do. Especially in the quads, there's a lot of soreness that can happen, and that's when lymph gets blocked up. And you want to make sure you sweep all the way up, all the way down, pick a direction and work it yourself. In terms of a test retest, you can do a couch stretch, especially on my right quad. I noticed that, and you want it, when you test this, you want to do it in the vertical position, not in the low position. When you're here, just take a big breath, tighten up, squeeze that quad, sort of feel how it feels. Especially if I'm hitting this after not hitting it for a while. My right quad has a little bit of like gnarliness to it, but after I smash it for a little while, it'll feel pretty good. You can also do the classic runner's quad stretch and see how close that heel gets to your butt. Or you can do the kneel it. You can kneel and lay back. This might be a little bit gnarly for some folks. Oh, one more thing. Sorry, I forgot to mention this. On the medial side, really, you really want to make sure you relax. This is going to get gnarly, especially as you get to the teardrop. So don't sit up too much. Don't crouch over it. Lay back. It's going to be. You're really going to have to relax. Let it melt into you. So that's the last thing I'll say about the medial smash. So the test retest, couch stretch, or you can do the classic runner stretch. In terms of prescriptions, I would do this before you're going to do any squats or heavy squats, lots of squats, front squats, back squats, overhead squats, whatever kind of squats. And if it's like wall balls, that's a really big one that'll create a lot of delayed onset muscle soreness. Anytime you see a workout, you're like, oh, I'm not going to be able to walk upstairs for the next 2 days afterwards. You should probably hit this immediately afterwards. That's why we're using a barbell, because you'll probably be in a gym. It'll be the nearest thing. It'll be something nearby that you can just smash yourself with. It's a big, heavy, good object for doing some great mobility work with. And since you'll spend 2 minutes on each face, that's 12 minutes on overall mobility work, and it'll make it so you can walk the next day. And also anytime you feel junky or your quads just don't feel like snappy or don't feel very good, I just smash it first, see how you feel afterwards. It won't feel very good during, but it'll feel way better afterwards, trust me. And so to review, we want to make sure you have that, you pick your poison, the knurling or the sleeve, do a 2-minute sweep on each face of each quad. So anterior, lateral, keeping that ankle underneath the knee to protect the knee, and then medial, and especially on the medial side, lay back and relax. Buckle up. No bad milk faces. If you're making a face that you wouldn't want anybody to take a picture of you during or with that face on your with your face, don't make that face. Just relax, breathe. It'll be all right. You're not going to die. Enjoy. This is a great mobility thing to do anytime you hit a workout. Enjoy.